welcome to the stated meeting for November 15th, 2021 of Waxahachie ISD School Board. We're going to immediately step off into closed session here at 5:01, and we'll be back shortly. Hopefully Ms. Needham doesn't send me to the office before we get back.
Oh, as far as the students? Yes, sir. I'll read that. We have Adal, I'm sorry, our invocations first. Sorry, sir.
Yes. Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for everyone in attendance tonight. Thank you for your many blessings you provide all of us. Please be with us as we make decisions tonight. We ask all these things in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. All right. We have Adal Pinal. He is in the dual language program. These students are going to come up to deliver our pledges, the pledge to the U.S. flag and the Texas flag. Adal Pinal is in the dual language program in Mrs. Barron's homeroom class. He is a part of Wedgworth's news crew. He enjoys watching WWE. His all-time favorite wrestler is The Big Show. That's right. And then Isabella Day and Jacqueline are in the 5th grade in Mrs. Trevino's homeroom. Isabella and Jacqueline have also been a part of Wedgworth's news crew. Isabella enjoys dance, and Jacqueline enjoys playing volleyball. All right, so please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Good job, guys.
I'm going to wait until 6 o'clock to jump into our recognitions and open forum to make sure that anybody who wanted to attend and or see that is here. And at this time, we're going to go into our public hearing portion of this with Mr. Calden. And I am obligated to read this, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Tonight, we are conducting a public hearing regarding the district's annual first rating. At the conclusion of a presentation about the rating and factors to determine our rating, the public will be invited to step up to the podium, provide any feedback and or questions regarding this rating. At this time, the public hearing is on the 2020-2021 first rating for Waxahachie ISD is open, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Calden for a presentation on the ratings. Mr. Calden, please.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Members that are here, Board, you have the first rating and all of the components in your packet, but if anybody in the public would like it, there's a copy on the desk up here. There are 10 of them. It's also posted on our website. Under the business office, if you will go to first rating, the link is on that website as well. With that said, we're going to run through our first rating. It is a requirement annually that we have this public hearing to talk about the first rating. FIRST is an acronym for Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. It's codified in the administrative code. You can be awarded superior, above standard, meet standard, or substandard achievement, and it's always a one-year lag. So it's this year's rating is based on last year's financial information. 98% of the districts in the state, almost 99, earned a pass rating this year. So there were 13 districts in the state that did not pass their first rating. 82% of us earned a superior rating, and 11.5% earned it above standard, and 4% earned a met standard. There are 5 pass-fail indicators with first report. We passed all 5 of these. If you do not pass any one of these, you will automatically get a substandard achievement. So you will fail if everything else is in grade order if you do not pass all 5 of these. They're relatively simple. Was your audit submitted on time? Did you have an unmodified opinion? The former vernacular was clean opinion. Were you free of any material weaknesses? So good things. Do you have internal controls, and do you have the things in place in your district that we can rely on the data that you've put out? With that, we'll go through the remaining indicators. We'll do them relatively quickly because most of these we earned the maximum points that were available. The first one is fund balance reduction. So are you using your fund balance at a rate of less than 25% for the last 3 years combined? Our fund balance had a 4% decrease over that 3-year period, $577,000 over 3 years. Not terribly bad when you have almost 24 million in fund balance, so we passed that indicator because we did not have a 25% decrease in fund balance. Number of days cash on hand, the bare minimum is 90. Our number of days cash on hand was 99 days of cash on hand. If you remember back, this is the 1920 school year, so we're talking about ESSER 1 funding at the time, and that's when the state said, we'll hold you harmless. Well, then they reduced our funding one year and gave it to us the following year. So that effect is a vast majority of the reason we went from 134 days of cash on hand down to 99 days of cash on hand. But that's one of the reasons that you want to have a healthy fund balance, is to survive those kind of accounting tricks, if you will, from the state. Indicator 8 shows your financial health as a district. In this, you want to have a ratio of 3 or more. And there's also a side adjustment on this. If you had, oh no, sorry, that's another adjustment. Just kidding. This does not have anything to do with the enrollment gain. Our indicator, our calculation was 2.7, so we have 2.7 times as many assets as we do liabilities on the books. And the minimum or maximum ratio is 3 for maximum points, so we earned 8 points on this. We have less cash on hand than we have the previous year, and that played into this factor. So there's 2 points that we didn't earn, but we're working on getting those points back by increasing our total current assets to liabilities. General fund revenues and expenditures. This indicator is looking at how well we are budgeting our revenues and expenditures. They want to see minimum differences from your original budgets to your final budgets on the year. We met the standard by being within their expectations. We did earn 10 points on this. Interesting of note on this, another way that you can pass this indicator is by having greater than 60 days of cash on hand, which is a smaller amount than the other indicator that we just talked about, which was 90 days of cash on hand for the maximum points. So it is a little bit interesting to have that inconsistency, but we did fine with our budgets compared to actuals, and then we also have enough cash on hand to successfully earn the points on this one. This also is another monitor of your budget. Did you have less than a 10% variance from your budget to your actuals? Our variance was 0.0295, so roughly 3% of a variance over a 3-year period. Standard was 10%. This is a new indicator, so it was kind of our first time seeing this one. Ratio 11 is long-term liabilities to total assets. We earned the full 10 points on this one as well. Our ratio is 0.84, and the expectation was a minimum of 0.6. Support future debt payments. This also is a new indicator. It looks at what your debt revenue coming in as compared to your total property values that you're levying against. So ours, out of 10 possible points, we earned 8 points. We have a little bit more revenue coming in off of our taxable values than the state would like to see on this indicator. So as our values continue to grow, if we're not issuing new debt, that indicator will get better for us over time as we go. Administrative cost ratio, this is an old one, familiar one. 10% is the standard for the ADA group that we were in last year. Now that we're over 10,000 students, that standard is going to reduce. Based on our size, we had a 10% limit, and ours was 8.57%. If we were at 10,000 students last year, our limit would have been 8.55%, so we would have lost 2 points just with that minor change going from under 10,000 to over 10,000 students. So one thing to be on the lookout for next year is we're going to be right on that borderline on getting the maximum points on this indicator. Staff-student ratio, did you have less than a 15% decline in the student-to-staff ratio over a 3-year period? Our student-staff ratio declined 1.7% over that 3-year period, so well under the 15% decline. We got the 10 points. Pupil projections, how accurate are your projections to TEA? So every even fall, we send new estimated projections to TEA for the upcoming legislative session. The question on this one is, how accurate were those projections to what you actually had for ADA? Our variance was 2.2%. The acceptable variance was 7%, so we met that indicator. This is also a new indicator, and we earned all 5 points on it. The next one is your audit report. So when we get the audit report, we have to submit that data to PEMS through a bunch of fields that they collect. Through TEA that we submit through PEMS to TEA. So when we do that, we generally have rounding differences. Last year, our total rounding differences were $93 out of our $110 or $15 million in numbers that we were submitting. The standard is a 3% variance. Our variance mathematically was 0 because it was $93, so we earned those 10 points. Indicators 17, 18, and 19 generally fall in line with some of those pass-fail ratings. So at the beginning, one of the pass-fails is, did you have a clean opinion? And if so, was it free of material weaknesses and internal control deficiencies? That's the same thing that indicator 17 is saying. A question that came up earlier today was about a ceiling indicator. So some of these, as you go through, you'll see ceiling passed. We talked last year a real little bit about there are new ceiling indicators in here. There are certain things that TEA is putting a little bit higher weight on. And if you do not pass that indicator, then you have a limit on your score. So you may earn 90 points, but on this one it says ceiling indicator max of a C if you fail this. So if you have a material weakness and internal controls in your audit report, it does not matter how many points you get, the maximum score you can get is a C. So even if you earn 98 points, you will still get a C on your first rating. If you earn below 70 points, you can get the substandard achievement if you earned it. But that's kind of how those ceiling indicators work. If you do not pass a ceiling indicator, you are limited. Your score cannot be any higher than whatever that ceiling indicator is that you didn't pass. We were also free of material noncompliance with any of our grants, state, local, or federal. No findings, so that was 10 points. We have made our required financial postings. This is a new indicator as well. So within our website and on the business office pages, you can find all the various required postings. So we earned 5 points from there. And then we had a discussion with you, the board, about property values within 120 days of you adopting the budget. Generally, we had that towards the end of July as we're working through the budget. And so that's another indicator, and that was a 5-point indicator with another ceiling. I know that was quick. All that to say, we earned 96 out of a possible 100 points, so we earned another superior rating. Also, we passed it. We passed all 5 pass-fail indicators, and every year since 2002, 2003, we have earned a superior achievement when it comes to the first rating. The only year that we did not was 2014, 2015, when the ratings were pass-fail only. So, little subtle brag on the business office for the 21-22 first rating.
Well, and let me make a less subtle brag on the business office. It is a really, really big deal for this to happen year after year. It's a great reflection of the work, Ryan, that you do, your leadership, but also the great work of the folks in our business office. And so I really want to give you all kudos for that.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you're not off the hot seat yet, but thank you for your time.
To the side.
Having heard the presentation on the first rating at this time, I invite any members of the public who wish to provide comment on this topic to come forward. Yeah. Well, that being said, I guess we'll keep going. Being no other members of the public present to speak on the topic, I close this public hearing and we'll move forward. Check our time here. We're still not quite to 6, so we're going to jump to superintendent's reports, and then we'll come back.
Stephen, I told you to go ahead and put it at recognitions. Go ahead and put it at the superintendent's report, sir. Thank you, sir. No, sir. Roll with it. Perfect. Each month, I will bring y'all a superintendent's report, and the first thing that we'll put up there will be the monthly enrollment in ADA, and you can see where we ended October the 31st. Our enrollment is only slightly up from 10,092 at the end of September to 10,101 at the end of October. Our ADA, however, was up quite a bit to 9364. That is not at all where we want to be. We're at 94% attendance, but we are struggling with attendance, as are all districts throughout the state. And to give you a little indication of what that struggle looks like, here's our district-wide attendance rate over the last 4 years. And you can see we were at our highest in 1920 at 96.97. Last year, in the midst of COVID, you can see we were at 94.69. And this year, at the end of October, we're at 94.41. That is not where we want to be. Let me share, though, how we fare along with our neighbors here locally. And you can see we actually posted the highest ADA at 94.41. Our friends just up the road were at 94.06. So you can see how we compare there. This is an ongoing struggle. It's something that we pay attention to every single week and having conversations with principals. For some reason, we kind of got into a habit of being home after COVID. And there's a lot of head scratching about people just, if little David's tummy's not feeling good, they just seem to be a little more prone to keep him home. So we're really having to pay attention to this on a regular basis. I wanted to update you on our my superintendent's entry plan, which I presented to y'all whenever you hired me back in July. And so I wanted you to know the progress we've had on that. I've conducted all of our getting to know you meetings with our principals and our central office folks. I've had several community presentations with the Rotary Club, Lions Club, the Ellis County Retired Teachers. I've had one-on-one meetings, typically coffee, with several of our community leaders, including the mayor, city manager. And planned for December, we'll have community outreach meetings with the chamber board, and also I have a pastor's luncheon that I'm scheduled to go and present on the status of things in Waxahachie ISD. Thus far, I've had on my lunch and listen sessions, I've had 12 lunch and listens on our campuses. Have 4 campuses remaining, and then we'll also include presentations with support services, transportation. I didn't say we'll also have one for our central office team as well. And then very excited to update y'all on where we are with our visioning process. We have had, as I just talked about, several ways that we're listening and going out to our community and to our campuses to listen to our stakeholders. We had 2,420 survey responses that were turned in. That's a really good response rate for a survey like that, open-ended. We had conducted 60 hour-long interviews with parents and kids and staff members, retired teachers, etc. Today was a very cool day. We had 15 of our high school and junior high students over at the Civic Center, and they were the first ones to hear all of that anecdotal feedback from our community, and they responded to that as well. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, we are going to work our design workshop team really, really hard. We have 30 folks who will come in, and they will meet from 8 o'clock until 8 p.m. On 2 days, tomorrow and Wednesday. So it's 24 hours of work, and out of that, we will get a draft set of core values and a draft vision statement. And we will bring those core values and our vision to y'all at our December meeting, and they'll present that to y'all. The way I like to frame this, if people are wondering what we're doing, all of us have our core values that we operate on in our personal lives. All of you up here could tell me things that are core and what you value the most. This is our organization, Waxahachie ISD, saying here's what we value the most. And when we are able to say here's what we value, we're able to make good decisions. And that's the purpose of our visioning process. So any questions about that? Okay. Well, that concludes the superintendent's report. which puts us right at 6 o'clock.
Right at 6 o'clock, we're going to go backwards here a little bit and have Ms. Bridges bring us the recognitions. Is everybody ordered?
Thank you, Jenny.
Good evening, Board. First person I would like to invite up this evening is Mr. Tim Day, Principal of Wedgworth Elementary. Oh, those are not going to stay there.
Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight I am excited to present one of our amazing staff members at Wedgworth Elementary School, Kelsey Gord. Come on down, Kelsey. Mrs. Gord serves as our librarian at our campus, and she has absolutely transformed our library into a learning environment where creativity, engagement, and collaboration occurs on a daily basis. One of our teachers had the following things to say about her. The teacher said, "She has gone above and beyond with making sure the library is ready for our students. Kelsey is organizing activities so that our students continue to grow, activities such as the news crew, library buddies, makerspace, and even girls who code." I don't think I've ever seen the kids more excited about the library than I have this year. She's doing an amazing job. So as the leader of the campus, I'm thankful for Mrs. Gord, how she models a passion for reading and a commitment to support our staff and students each and every day. So ladies and gentlemen, our hero of the month, Kelsey Gord. All right, I also have the blessing to the opportunity to highlight our amazing campus. So I have a few things to share with you today. First of all, we have amazing students at Wedgworth. And so one of the things that we are trying to do is celebrate the positive choices that they are making. So each week, the teachers write up positive office referrals. And every Friday, we call them down and we celebrate them by doing some fun pictures and post it on Facebook. And they even get a prize because we want to celebrate the great things that our students are doing each week. In the month of October, we celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month. And our fifth grade dual language students did an amazing thing where they brought the heroes to life in the school-wide Wax Museum. That's not abbreviation for Waxahachie, sorry, not to be confused. So they brought to life a wax museum, and what the students did is that they researched these individuals, they dressed up like them, and all throughout the library, you saw these students out around the library. And to make it even more entertaining, there's a blue dot and a red dot in front of them, so the visitors and students, they could choose which dot to step on. If you pressed on the blue, they told you about these heroes in English, and if you pressed it on the red, they told you about them in Spanish. So not only were our English learners doing this, but even our opt-ins who have been in this program for so long, they did a beautiful job telling about the heroes in Spanish. It was fantastic. Mrs. Bridges' daughters was just one of them. So we got to celebrate, and this was the crew that did this, and it was so cool that they did this in our new library as well. And this year, with the library, we'll be learning a little bit more about it from Mrs. Mott. But it is now a modern library. It is one of the most amazing places on campus. But one of the things Mrs. Gord has done is she has created an opportunity for partner reading or reading buddies in the library, where you have 2 grade levels that will come at the same time. For example, a 5th grade class and a 2nd grade class. Each student is responsible for checking out the books on their own. But then this is where it gets even better, is that the students will pair up, or the 5th grade student and the 2nd grade student, they'll pair up and they will read to each other. One of the most exciting things to see is to walk in, and my daughters participated in this last week, to see my daughters reading to younger students and the excitement on the face of my daughters or of the children, but also the younger students just sitting there watching the older students reading. It was such an amazing thing to be able to see and participate. Mrs. Gordon, the library, they're also doing STEM buddies, leadership and mentorship. There is a new makerspace room that teachers are bringing their students in to participate in STEM concepts. It's just such a great opportunity. And finally, we are blessed with such an amazing staff at Wedgworth Elementary School. I'm blessed to work with such amazing people, but what I love about them is their commitment each and every day to help our students learn. No matter what challenges we face, they come ready each day to take care of our students. And one of the ways that we do this is that we're committed and intentional about participating in a professional learning community, where each day or each week we are intentional about looking at what do we have to teach, how do we know that the students are going to learn it, and if they aren't learning it, how are we going to respond by providing interventions, and if they are learning the concepts, how are we going to be intentional in providing the enrichment for them. And our goal is we want to make sure that every student has the opportunity to grow at Wedgworth Elementary School this year. So it is such a blessing to be part of the Wedgworth family and the WISD family, and thank you for allowing me to share about our campus. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Mr. Ken Lynch, principal of Global High School, to come up.
Okay. Yeah, other way, sorry. Want to go back just a little bit. Okay. Good afternoon. Tonight I want to honor Mrs. Morgan Burnett. Mrs. Burnett is the Dean of Global High School's Health Science Department, if you want to come stand. In 3 short years of the program's existence, she has turned it into the largest endorsement track we offer. Her department serves more than half of our student body. Every day, Mrs. Burnett devotes herself to providing skills-based knowledge of the health science profession, inspiring enthusiasm and dedication within her students. I'm very proud of her professionalism and personal dedication that she brings to her work, and this is why she is receiving the Pathway to Success Award tonight. Okay, also, it's that time of the year when we go out to the junior highs, where we actually invite them over to the campus to show them off, show what we have and so forth. And we have a short clip of the video that we show them. It runs about 7 minutes, but we're going to try to tweak your interest in about 1.5 minutes. So let's see if we can get it to play.
So ever since I was little, I always wanted to be a nurse because of the thought of question, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now that you are getting older, perhaps you're one of the fortunate ones who already knows. Or maybe you haven't quite figured that out just yet. So where do you start? Well, most people know the key to successfully building a great house or a building is to start with a strong foundation. In today's environment, we believe it is equally important for you to build a strong foundation for your future educational and career goals. That's why at Global High School, right here in Waxahachie, we are creating that environment just for you. We want you to be successful.
Okay, the video runs about 7 minutes, but we're just trying to tweak it. That'll be available to you. Ms. Bridges will send that out, but it's also on our website, and if it's not there today, it will be in the first thing in the morning. This Thursday night, we'll have our first parent meeting for any junior high parents who want to come out and get more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Next, we have Mr. Binnicker.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Tonight, I have the honor to present an outstanding team member of the Curriculum Instruction Department. I'm honored to bring up Ms. Dawn Hilburn, who serves as our Director of Assessment and Accountability. Ms. Hilburn, you've seen her in WISD in many capacities. She served as a teacher and a coach, an assistant principal and associate principal. And tonight, I wanted to recognize her. And I really struggled with the title of this award. It was easy to pick her, but what to call the award was what I called Ms. Bridges last week, and I said, I'm stumped. And we went back and forth, and I tried to go deep and pull some dad jokes in or some alliteration, and I just couldn't think of anything. And then Ms. Bridges helped me out, and it clicked. And the title of this award is called It's All in the Details. So if you know anything about Ms. Hilburn, that's one thing that she is great at. And she is constantly getting requests from campuses to go to them and teach them how to pull their data and to look at their test scores, look at the numbers on the campus. She works tirelessly with the campuses to teach them how to do the same thing that she does, but they still call her back because the way that she presents it and goes into it is, you can't compare with it. So again, tonight, I'd like to recognize Ms. Hilburn. It's all in the details.
And board, finally this evening, I'd like to invite Lieutenant Oliver to come up.
There are 3 groups that help us out in security that I keep on speed dial, and it's our maintenance department, our IT department, and then the City of Waxahachie Streets Department. And we have Keith Vaughn and Chelsea Gordon that are here with us tonight, if y'all want to come on up. Keith Vaughn is a field supervisor, and Chelsea Gordon is the Assistant Director of Public Works for the City of Waxahachie, and they help us out, this department, time and time again. Whether it be, hey, we need a new crosswalk put in at Felty Elementary, or we need school zone signs installed. These are some of the people that we call to help us do that. When Greg Reed needed overflow seating for the Ennis game, and was going to put it in behind one of the end zones, he said, is there any way we can get barricades? And I said, I don't know, let me make a phone call. And these guys came out, without a moment's notice, and set that stuff up for us. But finally, one of the biggest things they help us out with every year is the homecoming parade. And this year, I don't know if you realize this, there has to be thousands and thousands of cones that get put out for this homecoming parade. And these guys, we really dropped a bomb on them this year because we did it the same weekend as the Texas Country Reporter Festival. So there's a ton of work that these guys put into that, but never once did they say anything negative to us. And that homecoming parade could not happen without these people in the department they work for. So tonight we want to recognize Matt Massey and the rest of the people with the street departments, and just thank you so much for the help that you give us with that every year.
Thank you, board.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Bridges, I do need to, we got to do, make sure we don't have any open forum requests. I apologize. Do we have anybody on open? Okay, since we don't have anybody on the open forum, I guess we'll go to Mott for the informational report on the completion of library renovations at Wedgworth and Shackleford.
Yes, sir. Good evening, board. Library spaces have really transformed and changed. They are no longer quiet student workplaces. You might see one kiddo at a desk working quietly, a librarian behind a huge circulation desk. Now, library spaces are collaborative learning spaces. You see all sorts of little collaborative nooks and crannies around the building, around the library space. You see soft seating. Libraries have changed a lot, and the vision for updating our libraries here in the district really started with Simpson, when we built Simpson and we brought in all that great furniture and all this, the collaborative spaces there. I really wanted to take what that finished product at Simpson looked like and transform our other district libraries to look like and replicate what Simpson has. So last year, we focused on Northside and Dunaway and updated those two library spaces. This year, we are completing renovations on Shackleford and Wedgworth. So if I could have the Shackleford and Wedgworth principal and librarians come on up. At Wedgworth, we have Mr. Day, of course, as principal, and Miss Gord as librarian. And then at Shackleford, Miss Schaefer as principal, and Miss Gonzalez as a librarian. This first picture here is of the Shackleford Library. You can see we have curvy features as opposed to the standard straight line seating, square desk, heavy wooden bookcases, heavy wooden desks that we traditionally see in libraries. Shackleford's library received new flooring and new paint, all new book shelving, and lots of great flexible seating. Go to the next Shackleford. Here's a couple more pictures of the Shackleford spaces. Miss Schaefer, come on up, and Miss Gonzalez. Ms. Schaefer, tell us about how the Shackleford Library renovation has impacted your campus.
Sure, I'd love to. So first, I want to start out by just saying thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the design process. Ms. Mott and our district actually came in with the vendors and allowed us to come in and say, this is what we really envision for our campus, along with Ms. Gonzalez. So we were able to pick not only just color schemes, but the flexible seating furniture that we wanted for students. So I'm going to let Ms. Gonzalez speak to some of the innovative things that we've been able to do so far this semester.
Thank you. Whoa. Well, really just focusing on 21st century learning, and I am so appreciative of y'all's support with that, because that is what it's all about, and this is what 21st century learners are all about. Very flexible, very different compared to what you might be used to in a library, but that's what it looks like. Just gathering places, whether it is a little table or you can see we have our soft seating there. Different places to walk around and look for books, a lot of different options and different choices. And really, I really have to give a thank you to Tammy Hill, who's the librarian at Dunaway and also was at Northside first, because she kind of guided us in this process, because she was the first one that went through this. And she was very helpful in kind of helping us figure it all out. So it was very wonderful to have her support. And this is what you got, you guys. It's wonderful. This is the second renovation I've actually been a part of. I'm in my second district, Waxahachie, my second district, and this is the first time that we have had any input. And it was so refreshing and so just impactful that we were able to put in our say in what libraries need. And the kids are just loving it. They just love to come and gather, whether it's to sit and listen to me read or read with each other. We have a wonderful little computer nook where classes come and have technology time, or our makerspace where our windows are opened up. If you've been in Shack, if it's been a while since you've been in Shack, it was kind of closed off for a while, and now they get to go over there and hang out in the sun, and it's just an amazing experience. So we're just loving it. So thank you all so much for your support in that. So.
Okay, and on to the next slide. And this is pictures from the library at Wedgworth. And we're lucky in this situation, we have a before picture there on the left. And you can see the old style of straight bookcases. They did not move. They've been there for many, many years. Heavy tables. So in the renovation process at Wedgworth, you can see we updated the flooring just like at Shack and the walls, and now we have all new bookcases coming in. Everything is on casters. Everything moves. So when we have book fair come in, we can move all of the shelving out of the way, bring all the book fair in when we have different events there. Depending on what kinds of things are going on in our library, all the tables are movable. They're light. One person can push them around. So we have all sorts of little areas here for collaboration. If you go on to the next slide, here are some of the great little areas at Wedgworth for the students to enjoy. You can have whole group settings back there in the top right hand side of the picture there. You can have a group of 22 kids there. There's lots of soft seating as well. So I'll have Mr. Day and Ms. Gord come up and talk about the impact of the library renovation on their campus.
I'd like to echo what Mr. Schaefer said earlier and just thank you for this opportunity to do this. As I mentioned earlier, this is transformational. And my favorite experience has been as they were setting up the furniture and it got all set up, you see the students walking by and their jaws are just, they're dropping and they're so excited to come in and the smiles that they're having. Ms. Gord's done a fantastic job. And you heard from me earlier, so I'll let you hear from Mrs. Gord too.
Yes, I'd also just like to say as a thank you for the support of the board and the vision of the leadership of this district. Our students at Wedgworth are truly going to benefit from this renovation. We've been able to take it from that traditional just place where you house books and you go and you just find your books and then you go, where now it's like a breath of fresh air, like it's alive. The library is the hub of our school. Kids cannot wait to come in. They're banging on the windows sometimes, and I have to get onto them. But they're so excited to come in, and they love having that community that we get to have in there. And like Ms. Mott said, everything is flexible, so we get to completely design the library around the program that we need at that time, based on our students' needs and what they need best for their learning. So whether that's a whole group instruction or whether that's small group instruction, we can really modify that library and fit all types of learning happening at one time. So it's wonderful. So thank you so much for that.
These projects would not have been possible without the hard work of many district staff members, and I would like to recognize some of those district staff members tonight. I would like to recognize Andy Reeves and his team members, Carmen Gonzalez and Salvador Gonzalez. Please stand up, guys. And Salvador were amazing in these two renovations. They built all of the perimeter bookcases that you see. So they saved us a lot of money that we could then pour back into the flexible seating, the soft seating, those nice curvy bookcases on casters. We would not have been able to do all of that without the amazing job that they did. And if you go into the libraries, you can see the incredible detail that they put into that. They paid attention to everything so that it all looks great. The bookcasing along the windows there at Wedgworth, it's amazing. It's great craftsmanship and very impressive. So please go take a look at that. Also, I want to thank Arnold Martinez and Jose Gonzalez for the great paint job that they did at both libraries. The paint color really modernized the areas, so thank you so much. Also, I'd like to thank Stephen Mott. He worked on getting the flooring secured for both libraries. Stephen also worked with both of our vendors, Verco and School Specialty, and he worked with principals and the librarians and me to make sure that everything ordered fit the vision of the district. He made sure, followed up with the orders coming in and our furniture being installed. We are still working through a few pieces, of course, on install. We always have a couple issues, and he continues to work to resolve those issues to make sure that our district gets the very best product that we paid for. So thank you to the entire team. Thank you, all of you, for creating these amazing spaces for our students.
Ms. Mott, thank you also for your leadership in that process. I want to say thank you to Mr. Gomez as well. I appreciate you and all the hard work. If you have not been other places, you might not realize that it's extraordinary to have the level of craftsmanship we have right here in our district, and we're real grateful for that.
All right, at this time, we'll move to an informational report on instructional technology in the classroom.
Good evening, board. We're excited to have this opportunity to share a little bit with you about where our district is when it comes to integrating technology in the classroom. As instructional technology, our goal has always been to empower learners through technology. And our learners include teachers as classroom facilitators, but also students as creators ready to show that learning happening. In our role, we work very closely with the curriculum team to help teachers and students use technology to enhance daily instruction, but also we collaborate very closely with our tech team to make sure we have the best equipment possible to make this happen.
So tonight we want to share with you where we've been the last few years, where we are this year, and then also what our plans are for the future. Although our lists include a lot of software and hardware, and what we're sharing with you, the bulk of what we do is to partner with teachers to ensure that students are successful. So in 1920, one thing I need to mention, we've listed everything for the last few years, but we're only going to highlight tonight just a few, okay, for time's sake. So in 2014, you're aware we became a Google district. And it wasn't until the spring of 2020 that everybody got on board, and that was due to, they really had to become a tech expert overnight due to the fact that everyone was home in virtual learning. We had many Zoom trainings on Google Classroom and Seesaw to get everyone up to speed, because those two programs were the vehicles that teachers use to get content out to their students. The next year we rolled out ClassLink, which is our single sign-on program. And as you know, the ClassLink enables district staff and students to log in one time to their Launchpad. And when they log in that one time, they have access to their digital textbooks, their instructional resources, and also their technology tools. So this has been a huge time saver for students and teachers. This program has saved a lot of instructional time because they log in one time instead of many times for different programs. With the district still being a hybrid model in the fall of 2020, the curriculum department introduced our online professional development virtual training program called Bridge. The virtual trainings in Bridge continued throughout that year, and they still are continuing now. With the help of the technology department, also in the spring of 2021, all secondary students received a device.
So this year, where we currently are, we have many things happening, but again, we're just going to highlight a few. When it comes to hardware, we're currently partnering with the tech team to roll out emergency connectivity fund devices. We actually were awarded 5,750 devices through a federal program that's going to enable students and teachers to take a device home for home access if they choose. So we're getting those devices out over the next couple months coming up. In addition, we have started installing interactive panels that are rolling out at the secondary and elementary campuses. By the end of this year, all elementary classrooms through second grade will have a Promethean board installed in them. And then we're going to continue to roll that up through higher grade levels of the elementary campuses as well. And some. Yes. No, you're good. No problem. So we have through the end of this year, by the end of this year, we will have Promethean boards up through second grade in all elementary classrooms. We'll continue to work on that through next year to finish off through fifth grade on those Promethean boards. And then we've also installed some at secondary campuses as well. So that's been a huge, awesome new tool for our teachers to use. And then also, after board approval earlier this fall, we rolled out IXL, which is an online program that's really helping teachers close gaps with House Bill 4545 students. And then in addition, with fifth grade and above now being one-to-one with devices, we've increased technology professional learning opportunities. This includes training over integrating technology in the 4 C's, which are communication, creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration, as well as using technology to differentiate learning for all students, which both align very closely with our NICE goals for our district. In addition, we're working hard to partner with teachers to provide TEKS-driven, tech-embedded projects that they can implement in their classroom immediately in the current units that they're in. And finally, iNation is returning this year in March. We're super excited about this conference-style professional learning day. We're really excited about all the things that teachers are going to share about technology and best practices that are happening in each other's classrooms. And we would love for y'all to come be a part of that day on March 22nd. So make sure to mark your calendars.
So for the future, the future for instructional technology is so exciting. We plan to, next year, we'd like to introduce a technology teacher initiative where we're going to partner with interested teachers to help pilot new programs and gain their input for progressive tech integration strategies. So as our district moves to a one-to-one district, we will continue to work with teachers and create technology-rich lessons.
And then finally, we created this plan with us getting technology-rich so quickly. Our goal is for students to really be creators using the technology and not just consumers of all technology. We want them to use these devices to create products to show their learning. So to help with that, we created kind of this 3-year plan to help teachers get their students to this level using the I do, we do, you do model. We're partnering with them and coming alongside them to create tech-embedded, TEKS-driven projects that they can put to use in their classroom immediately. Again, these go hand in hand with the 4 C's I mentioned earlier in our NICE district goals, and we're super excited about how these are going to affect classroom engagement and student achievement in the classroom. Please let us know if you have any other questions. Our emails are there in the presentation for you. Thank you again for the opportunity to share tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to move forward to our consent agenda. We have items A through H on there. If anybody wants to pull something or move something or take it all at one time, I'll give you a second to look over it.
I move we approve the consent agenda items A through H.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved by Mr. McCutcheon, second by Mr. Rogers to approve the consent agenda as listed. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Okay, the ayes have it. Oh, I can't do my math here. 6 to 0. That will move us up to the action items portion of our agenda, and I assume we should take these one at a time. Action item A is consideration of the possible action to cast votes for candidates to serve on the Ellis County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice President. You'll recall that at a previous meeting, we had made our nomination to the Ellis County Appraisal District, and this is the opportunity for y'all to vote on those nominations that have been made by all of the taxing entities within the Ellis County Appraisal District.
Floor is open.
Mr. Vice President, I move that the Waxahachie Independent School District allocate 834 votes, 834, for Mr. Richard Keeler, and 45 votes, 45, for Mr. Ryan Pitts.
Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Rogers and seconded by Ms. Starnader to appropriate the votes, and I don't have the list in front of me on the exact number. Could you repeat that for us, John?
834 for Mr. Keeler, Rick Keeler, and 45 votes for Mr. Ryan Pitts.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-1, or 6-0, excuse me. We got somebody missing. I keep trying to throw them under the bus. Okay. The consideration, letter B, excuse me, consideration of possible action to approve quotes from Honey's Roofing to repair and replace roofs at Support Service Hangar and the former credit union building for amount not to exceed $160,000. Now, to me, that's the old weight barn and field house.
Yes.
And probably to Mr. Mott there as well, but tell us what we're going to do with this, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mott's here to do that presentation, but we're going to re-roof it and use it for storage that we don't have around the district. But he'll fill us in more.
So what you're going to see here is, right here, there's some pictures you see of we call it terminology, the hangar. Some will know it, as you just said, the weight barn and gym in the junior high when we were there. As you can see, we have a few problems with the roof. It does have 3 current holes in the roof in 3 different locations. So it cannot be used as it is right now. Then we'll go over. That is the top of the old credit union, which Mr. Schofield, you would know as the locker room for junior high football field, 7th and 8th grade back in the day. Yes, and you can see it holds water. The problem with that is it is now rusted through, and the metal decking that is on that, that's right underneath the rock and tar, is now rusted and letting water through. So that building has water coming into the building. So with those things we're talking about, what we'd like to do is we'd like to come in and take all the old roofing off, put new roofing on, both the credit union and the hangar. With that being said, here's kind of what you can see the upstairs, the current hangar as it is. We would end up taking all that upstairs decking out, and we'd end up making like the vision you see on the left. It'd be all pallet racking in there. We currently in this district, we have no place to store anything. We are now using right now what's left of Coleman, the old ag shop, some of the mechanical shops, some of the welding shops. We have a little bit at ours. But every year about August, we get from the school say, come pick up all my stuff. We have no place to put it. So this will give us about 240, 250, somewhere in that neighborhood of actually pallet racking pallet locations in one location to store it. With that being said, it'll actually be able to, Roger Wilt and I have worked together. We will take pictures of it. If it's stuff that we know that we won't be using, we will then take pictures of it, and we have an auction. Roger does an auction once or twice a school year. If it does not sell in the auction, then we would just then get rid of it and through the ways we get rid of trash at the time. It'd be classified as just obsolete trash because we don't use it. So you would see that's where we would be going forward is. The hangar will actually have a TPO roof. It currently has 2 different style roofs on it. The company will come in and repair all wood deck, everything like that, put insulation over it, then put a TPO roof on the actual hangar, or I'm sorry, the actual old credit union. They'll go all the way down to the metal deck. They'll buy the metal deck. They are buying the metal deck from a local supplier here, Whitaker Metal Deck Sales. They are buying it to them. They did give them a good price because it is for Waxahachie ISD for that. And then they will come put a new TPO roof with insulation and all that to keep that flooding that you saw on there. So that's what we're looking for. The time frame we're looking at that is all of it to be completed by the end of February of 22, barring we don't have major freeze or major hurricane rains between here and there. Do you have any questions?
I'm just glad to see us utilize our facilities. Those buildings are paid for, and if we can keep using them, it's a lot cheaper than building new ones.
And it'll leave what can be done with the credit union. There's a lot of things that can be done in future use, but it can't be used today. With a new roof and solid, it won't be leaking, all that. It leaves lots of things for the district to be able to use it for.
Figure out something. All right, you guys have heard the presentation. I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Okay, proposed by Mrs. Kriegel, second by Mr. Rogers. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. All right, last one here. Consideration of possible action to approve a contract with Way Mechanical Services to replace two 25-ton geothermal systems at Howard Junior High with two 25-ton split systems at a price not to exceed $168,000.
Here to present our request is going to be Mr. Jeronimo Suaste, our HVAC supervisor.
Hello.
How are you?
Click. This is the current HVAC system, geothermal HVAC system at Howard Junior High. There are two of these units identical. Howard Gym has had heating and cooling issues for a number of years because of the water leaks in the geothermal system. Support Services has attempted to repair the leaks, and we continue to have problems. As of today, temperatures will only allow one of the two gym units to function in the state that it's in. On the hottest days, we can barely get this gym down to 76 degrees. From our past experiences, once we switch to heating, the gym will only warm to 60 degrees. Once the heat wells have been exhausted. This fix will solve the heating and cooling problems at Howard Junior High. It will allow the gym to be used as its normal use and also for the extracurricular activities that are in place. The Way Mechanical is the most effective and the fastest method that we can complete this work with the available time that we have. You have any questions for me?
So are you satisfied that this will fix it? I mean, I taught at Howard many moons ago, and it didn't work then.
No, sir. This will fix your Howard gym.
Okay.
It will also take 60 tons of heating off of those heat wells that will allow for the units around the gym to be able to function.
Going to help both then?
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be a hybrid system. It's not going to totally get rid of the geothermal. It'll be in addition to.
In the main gym, it will, sir.
Okay, but the entire school, it'll be a hybrid type system.
Yes, sir.
We'll still have the geothermal on one side and we'll have the split system in the gym area.
I was kind of hoping it would get rid of all of it.
No, sir, that is a more expensive fix.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You were really fixing to be our hero. I knew where he was going with that, but it's still not bad.
But effectively, it will fix our problems in the gym, and it will help us be able to use that gym not only as the normal use, but also be able to rid it out for people that use our gyms and also the extra events after hours.
Any questions, guys? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay. Moved by Mr. McCutcheon, second by Ms. Starnader to replace the geothermal system with the 25-ton system, split system at Howard. All those opposed? I'm going backwards on you on purpose to see if you're awake. Y'all look sleepy. All right, how about anybody? Nobody's opposed, so how about those in favor?
Aye.
6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your hard work and coming in after hours. Now for the motion that everybody wants to make. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Moved by Ms. Kriegel, seconded by Ms. Timmerman. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, y'all go home. 6:43.